Hello, my name is Alanda. Actually, it's not, that's one of my many names. My name is Gikombarero, Hazel Manangazira, and you can just call me Shiko. That's going to be my comedian name, I guess. It's not a serious thing, but yeah, I'm a Gemini, so twins, many faces, for those that don't know. That's what it means. That sounds like Alanda. But anyway, I am here tonight because my friend told me the best way to get over stage fright is to do open mics, like comedy open mics. And already I am here, and it's quite intimate because I'm staring right at you. So what I do outside of this is I am a DJ. So I press buttons for a living, and when I press buttons, bleep bleep bloops come out and people dance and move, and it is fucking fantastic. It's a great way to connect with people. And myself, I find myself doing the dance, doing the merengue, depending what I'm playing. I don't know why I said merengue. I actually couldn't even fucking tell you what the merengue is. When I think of merengue, I think of what's that thing? It's not a macaron because that's something you French. Meringue, that's what I was thinking of. Meringue. Yeah. So I was thinking to myself, I was like, how hilarious would it be? So yeah, so I do DJing, and I want to sing because I love singing and I have a lovely voice. The fact that I'm even singing, I have a lovely voice even makes me feel a bit more funny. And yeah, you may think you're a DJ, you're already in front of people, so how come you have stage fright? Let me tell you about that, because that's why I am here tonight. So I guess when you are DJing, you're kind of, as I was saying, pressing buttons, you're hiding in a way. It depends what you want to do, but for me, I feel like I'm hiding the other part of myself that wants to be at the front, you know, like how I am right now, singing. And to me, that's probably the most vulnerable. Not relationship stuff, not opening up about your deepest, darkest secrets. That's the most intense, terrifying thing for me. Terrifying is a bit extreme, but when it's singing, it's just like, again, Gemini, different person, different spirit that comes out. So I thought I would give stand-up comedy a try because I think I'm funny, and please laugh because it's going to be very awkward if you don't laugh. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm quite a funny person. I'm not the worst storyteller, but I'm not concise, I will warn you that. So it's funny because I've had to prepare like a 15-minute set, and I actually had no idea how long 15 minutes was in terms of comedy and speaking, but like I said, I ramble on, so we'll see where this goes. So yeah, when I was walking here, I was saying to myself, I was like, how funny would it be if I end up being like an awesome comedian when that's not even what I want to do. I feel like a lot of things like that like just happen in my life, like really funny things. And it's funny, speaking about vulnerability, you would think me being in front of people and singing is less vulnerable than some of the first encounters people have with myself. There's this girl called Aisha at work, and I work at Ramen Dyer as well, so this is like a ramen place. Ramen, Japanese, big soup, hot bowl of salty liquid. Not a fan. I'm a big fan of sweet liquid, juicy smoothie. But you know what, actually, I had some ramen last week and it wasn't too bad. I'm just not a big fan of soup. If it's like a savory bowl of liquid with bits and chunks, fantastic. But if it's not, it's just not the best. It just makes me want to fucking spew through and just throw up my generational trauma up and just leave it there. But I guess that's what soup is. When you're ill, you have soup, and it gets I actually don't know what the fuck soup does, but I know when people are ill, they're like, oh, have soup, liquids, nutrients, replacing the water and stuff. So there is no throwing, but there is a flushing of some sort. But yeah, so this girl called Aisha, I actually met her when I was DJing at an ice rink place. It wasn't an ice rink, it was roller skating, so it was dry ice. We're not talking about the dry ice where you, chemistry, not talking about that. So she actually recommended, she's like, oh, by the way, like, they're looking at play, people at Rhyme and Die. This is what I mean about being concise. I just have to get to the fucking point of the story, but it's the journey, you know. I've always been a journey kind of gal, even within my music, my sets, from beginning to the end. I'm not gonna introduce you from the middle, because you then have to understand how you got from there, and it's kind of like life. And I do this thing as well where I'm like, when something is not even deep, make it deep, but it's like life, it's a journey. Beginning to realize it's not about the destination, rather this middle bit. Like, the journey is fucking fantastic. But yeah, so she gave me the number, and then I texted this guy called Calvin. Funny story about that to do with the phone. I don't know if I should tell it, but I'll tell it to show you how human beings are funny, complicated people. And yeah, but anyway, so I texted Cal. I was like, hey, by the way, I heard you're hiring, blah blah blah. So I said, cool, come in. Came in, and yeah, so Aisha from work, she was like, I actually remember the first time that I met you, and you may think I'm taking the piss, but she does sound a bit like this, like her tonality. She's got different mix in her. This girl looks merengue, but she's not. She's like got Singapore in her and white. She's like 3/4 white and a bit Singapore, but this girl is tanned as fuck. Tanned as fuck, you know? She's so cute. She's very beautiful. She's very cute. And it may look like I'm taking the piss out of the Chinese accent, but I will tell you something. I fucking love, that's my favorite accent ever. And I don't think it's offensive, because, right, one thing I've noticed is, why is it every single time when you try to do like an Indian accent, like a Chinese accent, Japanese accent, that kind of region of Asia, regions of Asia, it's even an African accent as well, it's like deemed as if you're being racist. But when someone on TV or whatever, your white friends, you know, your other friends, not even your white friends, my black friends or my friends, when they go and they're like, oh, can you do an Australian accent? That's one accent I can't do. I've tried. I can't do, my tongue just doesn't do that thing. I tried to do it. I tried to be like, hello? This is a lot better because of, there's a shark in the water and hello. But I did hello and it came out like a walrus. It was like, hello. I will show you the voice recording and the video because it's fucking hilarious. I told you, it's something. Yeah, so we're at 9 minutes. So yeah, so I just think the Chinese accent is lovely, and I love it, like, cute, you're very cute, because when black people go over to like China and Japan, you know, they're always, because they're not quite exposed to people of this color, so sometimes they just see them as like these amazing human beings. And I've seen a video where someone was like calling a black person like, cute, you're very cute. So Aisha is very cute. Maybe when because this is a rough and I'm speaking to myself, this is better. When I can actually do the accent, I'll learn better how to do a bit better, so it's not offensive. But it's very cute. I fucking love it. Sometimes at work when I'm giving people ramens, I'm like, because it's Japanese, I'm like, how can I help you? How can I help you? What do you need? And I have to forget, sometimes I forget that I'm at work and I end up speaking like this, and then people look at me a bit funny because they're like, is she being rude? Is she being racist? I'm like, no, I am just admiring and having fun. But anywho, so Aisha, she was like, this other girl called Kirsten, she's a wiki as well. She came into work and we were just chatting about first meeting each other. She's like, I actually remember the first time that I met you, and it was when we were at Sub Club and you actually took a shit in front of me, and I was like, did I? And no, I'm not shocked because that's not something that I wouldn't do per se, but I was shocked because I was like, fuck, not another one. It just seems like quite a few people in my life have had experiences of me meeting them for the first time and taking a shit. What is it with me and shit? I don't have a fetish for shit, but it just fucking happens that way. Because when you gotta go, you gotta let it go. Nature calls. But anyway, so she was like, so basically, because I was asking, I was like, right, was this like, did I hold you by hostage? Like, did I at least tell you, did you at least consent to you being smothered in my shit particles? One must consent before they're covered in shit particles, for fuck's sake. You know, I would want to consent before being covered in shit particles, but it seems like it's actually not that much of a big of a deal, you know, being covered in someone's shit particles. I think it's bonding, it's very vulnerable, you know. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I just need to take a shit in front of people, like a big audience, in my stage fright for singing will be over. If I can do that, right, surely I can. Oh, hold on, guys. Anyway, continuing. So she's like, I was like, so did I ask you? She's like, no, we kind of went in and then I peed and then you went and then you were like, by the way, I need to poo, and she just kind of stayed, and I was in there as well. So that was the first time I met Aisha, and the reason why we went there was because we were doing things that we shouldn't be doing, illegal things. Let's just leave it at that for the sake of the kids and my mother. Well, I'm sober now, so I was taking ketamine. But yeah, so that was quite funny. That was the first time I met Aisha, and then when we're chatting, and I was like, that's not the first time that's happened, because there was this girl called Molly. I went to university in Aberdeen before I moved to Glasgow. Fucking love Glasgow, but people, you know, left, right, centre, you see them, acquaintances. Oh, hey, how you doing, Susan? Oh, hi, Sally. Parties, you all party, you all dance, you see each other. Sometimes you never say a thing. So my friend Sophie had a party, again, it's dancing, we all love a good party. And I seen Molly, I hadn't seen her in about like 3-4 years. And she's like, oh, it's so good to see you. Like, it's been such a big like time since I've seen you. I was like, oh my god, it has been. I was like, by the way, I've got to use the bathroom. I know. There she goes again. There she goes soiling people's hearts through her farts. Oh my god. We go in the toilet and I realize I need to shit, as one does. And I was like, oh, by the way, I've noticed this is like a little thing. I said, like, oh, by the way, are you okay with me? I just like need to take a poo. I honestly sound like a serial rapist, but for shitting with people. Because there's more than 2 times. Guys, it happens cyclically. So I then did what I had to do. She took a pee and was like, oh, by the way, it's probably best for you to take a piss because this gal's gotta go. So and then we did the thing and we bonded So to go back to my point. Oh, by the way, guys, I have ADHD, so it makes me really good though at remembering what the fuck I was talking about. It's one thing that, like, with memes, I always see that's like, oh, forgetting what I was saying 2 seconds ago in a sentence in conversation. It's true, but bitch, if you forget all the time, that muscle is big. You always remember what you were on about. I find that though when I'm having conversations with people that know that I do, because it is quite a lot of work. Sometimes I actually just don't mask it. I'm like, wait, what was it again? And then I have people to remind me, and it's fucking great because sometimes I will forget my point. I always forget my point of the thought I had, and it was really amazing having my friends to be able to remind me or like re-jog what I was talking about. It's actually such a beautiful thing. I don't have anyone to re-jog me right now. There's no one speaking in my ear, like with the mic and be like, oh, remember what you were talking about? So we might be freestyling a little bit, going left, right, and center. So yeah, I think maybe shitting in front of people is a lot more vulnerable than singing in front of people. Not in front of people, in front of one person. And another one with shitting was one of my best friends at uni from first year. So many mollies, ecstasy, MDMA, whatever you want to call it. And we're at this nightclub, and I was sitting taking a shit, and she was sitting on my lap while I was taking a shit, and we were kissing. And we always used to do this because, I don't know, drugs, really nice MDMA, makes you all lovey-dovey and touchy. She had a boyfriend at the time, still does, they're still together, but we'd just always kiss. And that was just quite a funny one. And what if, I've just came up with this thought, but what if that was when I realised, oh, I really like pooping in front of people. But part of me thinks that I think I just have no shame. I have no shame. I have no shame when it comes to shitting. Absolutely no shame. But when it comes to singing, oh my god. It's like the universe inside of me is gonna explode. But it's not, it's really not. I tried doing poetry, I think I said that at the beginning, and that was nice. I think I did say that. So yeah, so I hope this helps me to not shit myself. Oh, don't worry, I won't be shitting myself because my nature calls. I hope it helps to ease the anxieties of singing in front of people, because that's what I want to do. I don't want to hide anymore. I just want to be there and just sing. There's a little voice inside of my head right now, and it's like, sing a little bit, because I can see you all, you know. Because for me, when I think about singing, your body is the instrument, and feeling even the tiniest bit of nerves can affect that instrument, the pipe, you know. And I think it's the fear of failing and sounding terrible that gets me. So what I might actually do, this isn't part of the show, is maybe sing something a cappella and see how it is. I'm joking. So I could get my guitar and sing. I think I'll do that. Again, it isn't part of the show, but let's just tune it a little bit, because we don't know if it's in tune. So this is my guesstimate of what I think it should sound like via ear. So we can see the when it's cold outside, I put a spell. Okay, it's not too bad. I actually think it was tuned in. So sometimes I tune my guitar in 432 Hertz rather than 441 Hertz, and I read that Imagine by John Lennon, Imagine, was written in 432 Hertz, and apparently that's why the guy killed him, because 432 love, universe, and all that stuff. No, I think it was 528 Hertz, because that's the frequency of love. Apparently. I believe in that stuff. If you don't, sounds like a you problem. Not my problem. I know this shit makes you feel good when you listen to it. So here it is. When it's cold outside, I put a spell on. What's it again? When it's cold outside. Okay, here we go. When it's cold outside, I think it's it. When it's cold outside, I put a spell on ice and turned it to fire to keep your desire burning alive, buried inside, burning alive to keep your desires, burned by the madness, raised in the mountains. Your love is weakness. Da 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 da. They say you're running, I say you're grounded. They say you're running, first gig. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and thank you very much.